So Martha, so you know, is one person of 3 or 4 who have volunteered to be involved in elder affairs, try to help out or be on a committee or, you know, that sort of thing. And we're trying to figure out what that is. So she was one of them that could make the meeting today. Others were Frank Ryan, Bridget Haley, and there may be other people. So I just invited her to, and the main agenda today is for Sandy. Really 2 agenda items for Sandy to update us on the stuff that's going on there, which is, you know, the COVID stuff that's dominated their work in recent weeks. And then a little talk about other activities like the St. Patrick's Day parade they had last week, and kind of just level set on what's going on with their staff and their staffing and that sort of thing. And then to talk about, once we get through that and answer any questions, for her to talk about her plans for this year. We don't know, you know, much about reopening or any of that stuff, but what things she would like to do. And then I asked her if she could just give an update on, you know, the community outreach stuff that they do already. There's you know, the Golden Agers and that sort of thing, and just trying to get a lay of the land on what committee, what other elder affairs committees there are, et cetera, or senior center kind of committees. So the main thing is to ask Sandy to speak. And Sandy, are you ready to do that?
No,
No?
no, I am.
I was like, wait,
Okay.
wait,
Nothing
I'm
like,
just sitting here for a
nothing
minute.
like honesty. I was teaching a class this morning, and we were talking about virtue ethics. And it's funny that you just said that, the way you said it, because the way this class works is they talk about finding the, I think it was called the golden mean or something like that, between, so honesty, if honesty is what we want, not saying anything that should be said is at one end of the continuum, and the other end of it is brutal honesty. And that's what I thought you just gave, like brutal honesty. Like, no, I'm not ready to talk.
That was funny. I needed that laugh because it was like, no.
Counselors, if I thought it was that easy to get out of this, I would have done that a long time ago, I guess, but such luck, right?
So why don't you give us the summary of what you've been doing, and, you know, bullet point form, kind of, so it doesn't get to be too long, but get us up to speed.
Okay. All right. Well, at DEA, we are doing remote work as well as on-site at the Ray Jordan Center. All of the other councils on aging have closed since COVID, since March of last year. So we've been at this a little over a year now. And so, you know, the task was, how do we continue to stay in business without our doors being open to the seniors? So the way we did it, to come up with some programming, little out of the box. Councilor Allen mentioned the parades we do. We've done 5 parades now. I think it's 5 or 6. And these are designed to allow our staff as well as our seniors to interact safely and following CDC guidelines. The setup is they drive through the RAJ parking lot. We have booths set up along the route, and they can stop and, you know, visit with all of us. And we hand them out information regarding anything current that they need to know about COVID, the status of the vaccines, how they can get services from our other divisions. We've partnered with the USDA. We've given them food boxes. We made masks, our own masks, and handed those out. The last parade, we had 296 cars come through, which was awesome. And I mean, the response to the parades and the grab and go kits that we've made up for crafts to keep them engaged and busy at home, tells us that we're on the right path in terms of how to prevent social isolationism, how to keep them feeling connected to what they were used to. For many of the seniors, they came every day. And so to be cut off abruptly the way that we all were, there's a huge emotional impact there on both sides, both staff and for seniors. So these were things that we tried to do. We are constantly revamping our programming and trying to do, we've got movies on our Facebook page. We have, Friday Flicks, we call it. We've done a drive-in bingo out in the parking lot. We've played categories. We'd have trivia contests, just things to make it seem semi-normal. We're not doing it in the same way we have before, but we are doing something that keeps them connected. And that's basically been the goal. In terms of staffing, does anybody have any questions before I go on?
I have one, if it's okay. Tim.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yes, it is.
No, I'm not. I don't believe you anymore.
I know. I blew that chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
How are they made aware of like the drive-through parades and stuff like that?
Great question. We have a membership, and I have a device called My Senior Center. So it's a program that allows us to do a robocall, if you will, out to all of our membership. And this is good for letting them know what events are coming up, giving them updates on COVID-19 and the progression of anything else senior related that we're offering. So that's a major way we reach out. We do press releases, public service announcements. We put everything in our newsletters, which are out. Every 2 months, we put out a fresh newsletter with updates on things that are happening, the crafts and things like that for things that require limited registration, where they have to sign up. So they find out about it that way as well. And we've also put flyers on the cable access channel for them to see for public television purposes. And that's pretty much it.
Are the newsletters mailed or how do they get
They
those?
can be if they're not able to get out. We've, Councilor Whitfield, we've made them available. We have a kind of a Charlie Brown booth built, like the advice column that's right outside our doors.
Okay.
So they drive by and they pick one up, or they send a family member to do so, or we mail them to those that ask. And we also deliver meals to all of the seniors who signed up for them in need, and we give information that way too.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There is a lot of activity over there, and if you're driving by and just want to swing in, even if they're not open, I don't know if you leave those newsletters out overnight. The newsletters are available right outside of the place. You don't have to go in, and they're are they out overnight, or do you bring them in?
We don't leave them out overnight. We didn't feel that was, a wise thing to do because it's such a remote location. So we do take them in. And we made our own mailbox. They could drop suggestions off. They put cards and letters in there. They fill out forms for us. All of the divisions utilize that drop-in mail spot as well.
Having attended the parade a week ago, it was interesting to see the relationships between the people. I was in the line of giving stuff out and stuff, and the relationships of people that have normally come to the senior center and are not there now. You could see the relationships they have with the people that work there. It was pretty spirited. Everybody's really, and some people said it's the first thing I've been out to in a year, etc. So you can see the importance for quality of life and combating social isolation and everything, how important it is, and how kind of dependent they are on the senior center. I don't know if dependent's the right word, but how much it's a part of their life and their social life particularly.
I think you hit upon a key word. Many are dependent on it, because, you know, I think maybe some take for granted that they have families that are close by or families that there are healthy relationships with. And for many of our seniors, that isn't the case. So they lost quite a bit when we closed our doors, and they do rely on these moments.
Great. Any questions on that before we get into like next steps at the
I
senior
just
center?
wanted to know when the next parade will be.
April 27th. It's our carnival.
Carnival.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
I can send, I thought I sent a newsletter to all of the counselors, but if you didn't get one, I can sure make them available to you, so you have them on a regular basis, so you can see twice a month what we're putting out. Then if you have any questions for follow-up, you know, you're more than welcome to call any of us, and we'll try to answer that for you, okay? But yeah,
Okay.
April 27th, and it's from 11 to 12:30.
Thank you.
And that is a Tuesday.
It is. Most of them are on Tuesdays. We found that's a great day. Mondays are a tough day after a weekend. And Tuesdays, it gives us Monday for our setup. There's an awful lot of work that goes into creating these and putting them together and then setting them up. So we like the Tuesday day. The reason we did it on Wednesday was because that was actually St. Patrick's Day, and we wanted to do something right on the holiday. So last month, this month was an exception to the rule, but normally it is a Tuesday.
Thanks. And what is the theme of the carnival?
Just pretty much what it says. It's going to be a carnival atmosphere. We thought with spring arriving, it would be fun for them to drive through and have it be set up as like a carnival. There'll be things for them to do from their cars. Carnival games, things like
But
that.
it's not decorating your car.
They have decorated their cars in the past. You missed the holiday one in December. People had lights on their car and wreaths on their bumpers, and they dressed in, you know, colors for the holiday season, and they get pretty spirited.
All right, good.
Yeah.
April 27th. And the newsletter, is that once every 2 months or once every 2 weeks?
Yeah, so we have like a March, April edition, and then
Yeah.
a June edition, and so on.
Okay. Great. Any questions on that for anybody, from anybody?
I have more of a comment for Sandy. I'm sorry, Tim, I know you want to move on, but so I am a co-chair of the Mason Square C3, and we meet every Tuesday at 11, but like on a Tuesday that you're not having something, if you wouldn't mind coming, because so many people are asking what's happening for the seniors, what can we do for the seniors? So if you could just come and just share a little bit about what you're doing and things like that, that would be like really helpful.
I would love to do that.
Thank you. And
one of the challenges we have is getting the word out to all seniors, not just the membership. That's why we do the newsletters, make them available. That's why we write the public service announcements, you know, the press releases. They don't always get in, unfortunately, or they clip them so much, I don't even know what the press release says. So to get out into the neighborhoods, I have done that before. I have spoken to all the branches of the Golden Age Club, neighborhood civic associations and things like that. So if you want to just let me know when they are, I can let you know when I'm available, and I'd be happy to do that. That's a great way to connect
Thank
to.
you. I'll send you an email.
Question.
Okay, great.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead, Governor Sando.
Thank you, Tim. How much of this material is bilingual in Spanish?
All of it. Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Our newsletter is, the front half is in English and the whole second half is the repeat of the front half in Spanish. And then any Spanish speaking members, we have the capability on that My Senior Center system to send it out in Spanish. as well, many languages actually, not just Spanish. So thank you for that question.
That's great. Okay, anybody else? Sandy, we're coming around to you again to give us an update on the different groups that you know, the Golden Agers and any other group. You said you have a couple community kind of input groups or something. So is there any other questions besides Gumersindo's and Tracy's at this point? Okay, so we'll move along to that, Sandy. And this is, I knew most of what Sandy's talked about up till now, but these other groups I don't know as much about. So, and the reason I'm asking is obviously just like to know, but secondly is Tracy, like you with the Civil Rights Committee, we're trying to figure out ways to get community involvement in the senior center. And what are those things that are already in place in terms of an advisory group or a volunteer group or anything, and what are her needs. So Sandy, if you could just talk about what you have in place, and then there's people who have reached out to me, but you know, it's 4 people and only Martha's on this call, and I don't know if she can hear what we're saying. I'll call her later, but are you there, Martha? All right, great.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, excellent, good. I saw that you re-logged on with some other device, so good.
Exactly.
So we'll go around after we hear from Sandy, and the people that are interested and couldn't make the meeting, Frank Ryan being one, Bridget Haley another, and then that Giselle Vizcarando, I believe, also. Those are the people. You know, we'll reach out to them. Sandy will call them, or I'll call them or something, so nobody gets left out who was offering to get involved. But
How'd they hear about the committee? How'd they hear?
I think just because I'm on the Ward 7.
Alan.
I'm sorry, Martha.
I said I heard about it from Councilor Allen.
Yeah, thank you. Martha's on the Ward 7 Democratic Committee with me, and I believe 2 of the other people I mentioned, well, one's an East Forest Park Civic Association. So 3 of them from other community things I'm involved in. And then the 4th one, Giselle, I don't know how she heard about it, and I need to reach out to her. But we didn't put anything out or anything. It was just through word of mouth. Unless Giselle read something about the committees when Marcus put out a press release on the committees. So anyway, so you know, we want to reach out to people and not just have it because you were lucky you heard something, but to get started, rather than having a big production, I think it's most important to have Sandy tell us what she's got and get our input from the council, and then we can then figure out after this meeting what the next moves are. So go ahead, Sandy.
Okay, the programming that we do at the center is funded by the Council on Aging. It's a grant through the Council on Aging. And we have a board that exists as a result of that. It's a 6-member board, but they are appointed by the mayor. So it's not something you can call up and say, I'd like to join the Council on Aging board. So I just wanted to kind of be clear with that.
Is that a city? It's the mayor, so it's a city board kind of thing?
It is, yes. And I meet with them once a month and I give them updates like I'm giving you right now about what the department's doing, where I see some needs, and if they can help in some way. So we've got 6 members on the Council on Aging board.
Do you know who they are by chance?
Of course, yeah. Marita Bledsoe, Magda Colon, Teresa Concepcion, Olga Ellis, John Jordan, and Donald Roberts. One of the slots historically has been whoever's serving as the president of the Golden Age Club holds one of those spots on the Council on Aging.
And I got 3 of those names. Could you say them again, please?
Oh, sure. Why don't you tell me who you have and I'll tell you.
Yeah, I have Maria Bledsoe, John Jordan, Donald Roberts.
Okay, Magda Colon,
Magda Cologne, okay.
Olga Ellis,
Olga Ellis, all right.
and Teresa Concepcion.
Oh, Claudo's wife.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. And so the mayor names them to this board, and is their job to just show up to the monthly meeting and give you some input like we were giving you now? Is that type of thing?
But pretty much it is, yeah. And actually, I'm trying to think here. 5 out of the 6 are members of the senior center anyway. Which is,
Okay,
so they get firsthand observation and knowledge and participation in what we're doing. So I rely on their feedback quite often about, you know, what they're hearing that I'm not, and how we can make it better, whatever it happens to be at the time. So they serve in that capacity as well, which is really valuable. It's a valuable tool to have in place. And I'm fortunate enough that they are members and can see for themselves what's going on.
okay. And is there a president?
There is not a president of that. There is a president of the Golden Age Club, but not of the council. Well, I'm kind of the president, I guess you could say, of the Council on Aging. I act as the oversight committee person for the whole board.
Okay, and do they have terms? Like 3 years, 2 years?
You know, they do have terms, but they don't have terms. I think as long as they're still willing to serve, they're allowed to remain. We had, unfortunately, some deaths, and we had to fill several of the spots about 1.5 years ago. So we're because we only had, I believe at the time it was 2 people on the board. And so I had asked the mayor, you know, can we round that out? And he said yes. And so we were able to get 6 members up now.
Okay, good. All right. How about the
Where's
The Golden Age?
Yeah, go ahead, Gomercindo.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
This is a pay board?
No,
No.
none of the boards are paid.
Right.
It's all voluntary.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other
So-
questions on
Oh,
that
I'm
one?
sorry.
All right, so move on to the Golden Age Club.
Yeah, that's a 4-member board. There's a president, a first vice president, a treasurer, and a secretary. Now, they oversee all of the branches of the Golden Age clubs. The Golden Age clubs have meetings throughout the city of Springfield. There's 16 acres, Winchester Square. There's Tri-Tower, St. James Avenue, Pine Point, and the Mayflower group. Each of those groups has a president. And so once a month, all of those presidents plus this board that I mentioned to you with the 4 members meet at the Ray Jordan Center, and I meet with them, and I have a liaison to the Golden Age Club, Eliana Gutierrez, who meets with them and helps them plan their trips, their activities, and makes sure that their needs are met. They have an office in our building as well. They have not an office, a space, I should say, in our building. And we also allow any neighborhood clubs that want to meet at our building. We make sure we make space for them as well. And their job basically is it's a recreational based club, but they do volunteer work in the community. And they just develop activities for their members. The trips are probably what they're best known for right now. And their current membership is 256 members in the club.
And what does it take to join the club?
You just call and ask to be a member. They were readjusting the fees when COVID hit, so I can't quote you properly. There is a membership fee. Say we're doing a trip or they're sponsoring a trip. If you're a Golden Age Club member, you get a discount on that trip. whether it's, going to, I don't know where they're going, but they do like a lot of fall foliage tour up, going up the Mohawk Trail and things like that. If it's a $10 bus ride, they'll go for $5 if they're a member or something like that. What one of my challenges, if you don't mind my saying so, or one of my goals is
Go
to
ahead.
increase the membership for the Golden Age Club. When I was in college a couple of years ago, I interned. Why are you laughing? I interned under Madeline McNiff. If anyone, no one probably remembers her. You're all too young.
Oh, wonderful.
And that was when it was housed out of the then called Springfield Civic Center. So we had, I want to say 2,700 or 2,500 members. So it's dwindled. And so what I'd like to see is get some energy into that group and try to recruit. And this is even true as members for any of our councils on aging centers, to target the 55 to 65-year-olds so that there's longevity in their commitment to the different programs. So that's one of my goals, is to try to increase awareness of what we're doing to that age group. And I've got some ideas on how to do that when the time comes. Right now it's difficult because we're technically closed. But the Golden Age Club, I'd like to see that re-energized. We've got some folks in there that are tired, and they're just not sure. And I know that COVID, they're not even meeting, so it's going to take some doing to get them up and running again.
So maybe I'll join.
Okay.
I'm above your age limit there, though, 55 to 65.
No, it's 55 to whatever.
To
But
whatever.
targeted
Okay.
group is that 55 to, because so many seniors, as you know, are still working, and God willing. And so I'm trying to let them know it's not your typical senior center anymore. When I was growing up, you heard the word senior center, and I thought of knitting classes. We went zip lining 2 summers ago, and kayaking, and so we've got some great dancing. I was just talking to someone today. We're going to do a hip hop soul train chair exercise thing coming up either late summer or early fall. So we're trying to plan ahead and do things that are typically associated with, Granny Fanny.
Gotcha. Can you tell us who the officers are of the Golden Age Club?
I can. Well, Don Roberts, who serves on the Council on Aging group, also serves as the president of the Golden Age Club. And hang on, I'll get you. Joanne Lucas is the first vice president. The treasurer is Maureen Whitehead. And the secretary is Anne Marie Pager.
Spell that last name, please.
Pajer.
Pajer. Okay.
I think she pronounces it Paye.
Okay. And could you go over again when you said the little Golden Age kind of little clubs that were at these other senior centers?
The bridges, yeah, the locations.
16 acres, Winchester. By the way, Winchester Square is, usually it's called Mason Square, but I don't know. Mayflower, and what other?
Right.
And what were the other?
Ernestine Johnson is the president of the Winchester Square. Marilyn Hallis, Hallas, is the president of, or they call themselves vice presidents. There's only one president, I'm sorry, of Tri Towers. That's on Saab Court.
Oh, Tri Towers. All right. What was her name again?
It's part of her name is Marilyn Hallis. She's been with us for a long, long time. She's a great gal. Dick Sitnick, Sitnik, is 16 acres. They meet out of the Cloto Concepcion Center. Eveline Malbouf, Malboufe, is Pine Point. Cecile Benoit is Mayflower. And Joanne Lucas is the St. James Avenue.
Council President, if I may.
Yeah.
Hi.
The Winchester Square group decided to keep that name many years ago. They did not transition to Mason Square, so they did keep Winchester Square, just as an FYI.
Okay, yeah, you just don't, that's fine. So you don't hear it much anymore. Thank you. So Dick Sitnick, do you ever get him to parade around in his classic cars?
We talked about doing something like that. I wanted to do kind of a doo-wop parade, if you will, and have the classic cars and oldies music and, the poodle skirts and the whole 9 yards. He has performed for us as well at the Cloto Concepcion Center.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He was Santa Claus at Mass Mutual for years.
He was?
He succeeded my father. My father was Santa Claus at Mass Mutual for years. And then when he retired from it, Dick Sitnick became the guy. And I know he has classic, I don't know how many classic cars he has, but he's kind of a fun guy. Well, that's good information. Okay.
I had a question, Mr. President.
Yeah, great. Go ahead.
Chair, sorry. I'm looking at you, Marcus. That's why I said it.
That's all right.
I know Mrs. Ernestine. She basically, I know she deals a lot with the Old Hill Council. Have you been able to reach out to the other neighborhood councils? I know I've been working with some of the neighborhood councils as far as, the different events. A lot of them are seniors in the different areas. Would it be possible maybe to work, connect you with I know some of the councils that I work with, because they definitely would love the service to really connect with the different neighborhood councils in Ward 4 in my area or in any of the areas.
Absolutely. If I can share my email address, if you don't have it and you can reach out, we can set something up like that.
Okay, thank you.
And to answer your question, I have been out in several neighborhoods upon invitation. I believe Councilor Williams and I met each other at a couple of those.
Yeah, because a lot of the neighborhood councils in our area are doing a lot of the Zoom, different Zoom stuff. So it's kind of now, even though with the Corona, it's been kind of it's been a lot more activity as far as people being able to now attend on Zoom, where they don't have to, they're getting the niche of Zoom. So they've been having their meeting via Zoom. So right now I know that they're still with the Bay Area neighborhood, even if at night, people still, they would love to have that content, during one of the meetings that they have, via Zoom, if it'd be possible.
I would love to attend. Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah, thanks, Malo. That's great. Anyone else have questions? I have a question for you, Sandy, but anybody else have questions about these two organizations that she's talked about?
No, Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, not a question, just more of a mere comment. I just really want to thank you, Sandy, for the work you're doing, especially as it relates to social isolation. Kind of did a lot of research in my last place of employment around feelings associated with that and then outcomes that happen as a result. And it's a serious issue that a lot of our communities are facing. And I know spring and COVID, of course, did not make it. It only exacerbated the issue that much more. So I know for folks who can be engaged, I certainly want to thank you and commend you for providing the outlet but also for those that need to be reached still. I think that's a group effort the council can also play a role in. So I look forward to discussing those ideas with you in the near future.
That sounds
Thank you.
exciting. That's great. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. President. If Sandy, this might be the something we could talk about, later and maybe at our next committee meeting, is maybe this is the year of recruiting. I mean, you guys, I know it's not what you want it to be, but it's still a connection to people. And the thing's going to open again sometime. Maybe this is a good year to recruit because obviously everybody's been isolated. All of us have been isolated to some degree. So that's what I'm starting to think as a result of hearing this is, maybe this is the year to really put a push to get these groups, well populated, connected to the neighborhoods they're in, et cetera, and build some spirit that way. Is there any other groups?
Not that are part of the Department of Elder Affairs. We work with a lot of groups in the community, such as the neighborhood councils and organizations like that. But it's a partnership of sorts where we either program together or we share information or lists or things like that. But the Golden Age Club and the Council on Aging are the two formal groups that are part of Elder Affairs.
Okay, that's fine. Well, let me just say to everybody here on the call, that one of the other groups that exists in the kind of the world of elder affairs is the Mass Senior Action Council, which I was made aware of. I've heard of them before when they've been involved in different advocacy situations. I called them, I'd say about a month ago, and had a conversation with them. They would like to be involved in our discussions. I plan to reach out to them and, invite them to a subsequent meeting. I will say that I was surprised because the main thing they wanted to talk about, and this was me reaching out to them. They had me attend like a board meeting or something, and there were probably 8 or 10 people on the call. And I wasn't prepared for what they asked me. I was prepared in a normal situation to talk about police reform, but the main issue, transportation to the senior center and police reform. And so we ended up having a conversation on police reform, which was, surprising to me. The only kind of senior issue that you would call would have been the transportation to and from the Ray Jordan Senior Center, et cetera. And we can talk about that in a future meeting or something. But so we'll reach out to them. We'll invite them to another meeting. But I just want you to know that I have reached out to them, and they view themselves mainly as an advocacy organization, as opposed to the types of things we've just been talking about, more recreational and social. That's my take on it. So anybody, Marcus, I think you've talked with them in the past, haven't you?
Yes, Councilor Allen, and I think it was kind of like a board meeting again, and I think you kind of explained it right to the core. Like that's the gist I got as well. Around transportation was one of their biggest concerns, and public safety as well as police reform is what they articulated as being kind of high on their list too.
Right. Thank you. So at this point, I think Sandy, was there ever other, I'm going to come around and just ask if there's any, I want to get, hear from Martha and anybody else who has ideas on other things we should discuss, and Sandy and I can discuss them offline and bring them to the next meeting. But is anybody, Martha or Sandy, did you have anything else you wanted to pass on to us, I guess, at this point?
I wanted to share that, everyone's been talking about COVID so much and us being closed and things like that. But our SHINE and CSEP and outreach divisions that are part of Elder Affairs have been working nonstop since we closed to the public. They are still fulfilling all of their obligations through the grants, you know, Greater Springfield Senior Services funds our outreach division, and we're required to service 3,500 seniors. And their age is 60 and over, and unduplicated. So we have to reach 3,500 unduplicated seniors with direct outreach services as a requirement of the grant. And it's amazing to me that we've been able to do that. They're a terrific team. And, you know, I just wanted the council to know, and anyone listening, that we are available if you have any needs at all in terms of insurance or any outreach situations. CSEP is our employment division. We put low income, out of work seniors into a partnership. We have community partners who are willing to take these folks on and train them for future employment. And our grant pays for them to be on the program for up to 4 years. And we've started a job club. We're the only one in the nation to do this. And we've served as a model for other CSEP departments to join with us in having these. And we teach folks how to interview, how to dress for success, how to rise above their economic status that they're in, and to believe that, yeah, you can, and we're going to be there with you and help you. So we invite people that actually get jobs to come back into this job club and talk with those that are coming up through the ranks. And it's a terrific opportunity for them to see firsthand that it's working, and that, yeah, I can do it too. So in spite of being closed, so to speak, they've been able to find ways to get to these folks and produce in spite of.
That's great. That's
it.
excellent. That's excellent. That's a great summary of the work you're doing and the things that have to still be done. So excellent. So let's just go around the table here, and if you have another question on stuff that Sandy brought up today, or an idea for a future meeting, or an idea for an activity we could be doing with the Elder Affairs Committee, etc., anything goes. I'm just going by who I see on my screen here. So we'll come back to you, Marcus, at the end, so you can make any wrap-up comments you want. Sandy's there. Helen, did you want to add anything to what Sandy has had to say here?
I did, because I think it's important to recognize that the staff of the Department of Elder Affairs has been taking telephone calls to be able to register individuals for Eastfield Mall and our Springfield site. So they've been invaluable, along with the libraries. I think the other thing I want to say is about the meals, and that the Department of Elder Affairs staff is delivering meals Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and they're also packing up those boxes for the most part. So they're doing a lot of work that's not in the scope of what the Department of Elder Affairs is known for or does on a daily basis. So they've also been able to jump in to support the COVID-19 activities in many ways. And I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that. Thank you.
That's great. Thanks for that update. And thanks, Sandy, for your staff being so great about doing that. That's terrific. Okay, Tracy.
No, I got so much information that I wrote down, and now I got Sandy locked in to come to a meeting. I'm good.
All right. Good. Thank you. I know you got some
I'm gonna have to change my email address, Counselor Allen.
No.
Where have I heard that before?
Malo, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, I just want to thank you for all you do. I appreciate you.
All right, thank you very much. Likewise, right back at you. Thank you. And Martha Hannon, you got a little snippet of things here, Martha. Don't know if it was what you were expecting to hear or whatever, but do you have any questions for us or things we can look into, et cetera?
I think I want to commend Sandy for the wonderful, innovative programs that she has come up with, as always.
That's
And I'd
great.
like to keep involved with this group.
That's great. We'll certainly do that. So we'll try to figure out the best way to do that. At a minimum, you can always you can attend these meetings. Okay. I guess I'd say, Marcus, since you heard everything that was said, if you would like to put your spin on it, that'd be great.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just one other issue that I've thought about too, as I know that because seniors, of course, during COVID have been home more and there's been more access to them through landline phones, for example. I know scams and an uptick in scams have been kind of on the forefront of my mind as it relates to outer affairs too. So Sandy, I don't know if you have any kind of, information on that firsthand through direct service, or know of any potential funding opportunities in the pipeline that might address that. But it's just, and that can of course take shape in the form of another meeting down the road. But it's just something to kind of think of as well.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge. And in our newsletter, Councilor Williams, and also at these parades or the grab and goes or the lunches, anytime we become familiar and aware of a new way to cheat and scam our seniors, we get that right out to them, even if it's a robocall. So we really are very, very mindful that they're just so vulnerable. I mean, even you saw it with the COVID vaccines that, people, I'll give you a ride, and then they take advantage of them. So, you can sit and be shocked, or you can do something about it. And so we're trying to be very proactive where that's concerned. I don't think we can do enough as far as that goes, because there's some great minds out there that can come up with ways to
Right.
Mess up other people.
Get over on people, I guess is the best way to put it. So yes, that's the way we are handling right now. If anyone has any suggestions on how, I actually came across a gentleman who put together cartoon animated tutorials on different types of scams, and we were trying to negotiate how we could do that when COVID hit. So I thought that was kind of a tongue-in-cheek, but a teachable, appealing way to talk about some uncomfortable things.
Yeah, that's great. No, I really appreciate that. And maybe just another tidbit there is, perhaps there's a division of like the AGO's office or something that can send people out. If there's ever an opportunity where there's a lot of seniors in one place, that might be a good opportunity. So appreciate it. No, I think. We've done
it at the Ray Jordan Center and at our satellite centers as well, where we've had guests come in. Yeah. For everything too, even for insurance information, health information. We did a huge health fair a couple of years ago. That was a really terrific way to get a lot of people informed all at once. So we can't wait to get back to that kind of thing.
Appreciate it.
All right, great. Thanks, Marcus, for your thoughts. Well, thanks, everybody. This is what I was hoping we would accomplish with this meeting. A good group, a lot of good questions, and us getting a better understanding of Sandy's operations. So she and I will meet offline and talk about, our next meeting and what the agenda will be there, et cetera. But feel free to send her or me or Helen or whomever your ideas on this, because I feel this was a good discussion of the activities. And I think everybody here and the people that were at the first meeting are interested in improving the lives of our seniors and building a social network, so to speak, again, for everything. And so appreciate you coming and adding to that. And we'll be back scheduling another meeting in the near future.
Thank you very much, Tim, for having me. All right. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Martha. See you, Mr. President.
Thank
you,
you, Tim.
Councilor
Have a good
Brown.
day, brother.
You
Have
too.
a great
Hey,
night.
Counselor.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.